When you hear that Raw is going to be old school, it kind of gets you amped up and a little more excited about it because you figure you're going to get some nice or cool moments throughout the night. And that definitely occurred this week. There's no question about that. There were some really cool, really exciting kind of mark out moments on this week's show. No question. There was also some stuff on this show that, kind of going old school here for the Schleg Daddy himself, was very rant-worthy. So this review is going to be kind of old school in its feeling. Sorry, none of the other old original OTRS members are involved with this review. Not quite that old school. But you see the old banner behind me, the old Off the Rope Show t-shirt. You get a couple of things that kind of remind you of the way the original Off the Rope Show used to be, minus 4 members, I guess you could say. So let's have at it. Let's go old school tonight. What the fuck? I wasn't sure what Ric Flair we were going to get when you heard his music and he was kicking off this old school Raw. That's a good way to kick off the old school Raw. I will say that. A lot of people seem to believe that Ric Flair was completely and totally snockered and hammered for this show. I don't buy that. He maybe had a couple of drinks, but when he was back on Miz TV several months back, he did that segment with The Miz. That was hammered Ric Flair. That was truly epically awesome Ric Flair. You didn't know what the hell that crazy 60-plus-year-old son of a bitch was going to say. Here was a little more of a measured Ric Flair, but still incredibly effective. And I thought the banner back and forth between him and Randy Orton was pretty good. But, you know, when you see a Ric Flair and you see how he cuts a promo compared to how some of the top guys in the business today, minus maybe 1 or 2 examples, cut a promo, it makes you realize just how much damage has been done by scripted promos over the years in the wrestling business. My God. You could see how Ric Flair is comfortable with himself on the mic. He's comfortable with his character, and he knows how to get his damn point across. And this whole segment was fine to me until, of course, John Cena had to come out and cornball hokey this shit all the fuck up. Old school for John Cena now is not coming out to the Thugonomics music, is not battle rapping anybody. Apparently old school for John Cena is wearing fucking jorts. Jorts? That's the best he could do for old school? At least Randall Keith Orton was resplendent with his construction worker beard and his sleeve tattoos and his baby oil and his raging ring boner, which was at full attention for this whole segment, by the way, damn it. And the best we could get from John Felix Anthony Cena was jorts. Some old school. Some old school. And who the hell does John Cena think he is calling Randy Orton Randall?
Hello, everyone out there. I must disagree with the Schleg Daddy. Next week, I will come on camera and reveal my secret identity. All you need to know is Randall Keith Orton is king. Yay, yay.
So apparently early on Monday, Jerry the King Lawler was experiencing some health issues, and he ended up going to a Baltimore area hospital. And this is definitely no laughing matter, especially remembering last year when he had the freaking heart attack. But of course the WWE and Michael Cole and Vince McMahon and all their resplendent stupidity decided this was a perfect time to plug their fucking WWE app. If you want to know what happened to Jerry the King Lawler, you may be legitimately concerned, go download the fucking WWE app. Now, I've heard of some asinine shit over the years, and I get the concept of trying to push and cram and force and cram something down our fucking throats. But when you have to take somebody's serious, potentially health situation and use that as a lame-ass excuse to plug something like the WWE app, you officially have demonstrated yet again that you have completely no fucking taste. Fuck this company for that shit. You should give us a freaking full health update and then say if you want to hear Lawler's interview maybe, go to the WWE app. Don't use the WWE app and use Lawler's health condition as a shameless plug for that piece of shit app. Remember that whole shit I said about Daniel Bryan joining the Wyatt family was just plain ass fucking stupid, fucking stupid? You remember that? And some of you sat there with your flaming keyboard fingers of fire and said, no, this is going to be epic and awesome. For somebody that believes so much in storytelling, how do you not get the concept of this? Let me remind you yet again, how many times do I need to hear these lame-ass excuses being made for, oh, you gotta see how it plays out? No, the fuck I don't. The WWE no longer has that right to earn that type of respect from me to where I can sit there and give them the benefit of the doubt and wait for things to be played out. Remember when John Cena had to join the Nexus? Remember how fucking stupid that was? Remember when John Cena was fired by the WWE but never missed a damn show and still was wearing his WWE merch the whole time? You remember that shit? Look at everything that happened with the Nexus angle. Remember how stupid that shit was? Remember the Summer of Punk in 2011? Remember Randy Orton versus Christian in 2011? Remember the CM Punk heel turn in 2012? Do I really, and I emphasize again, do I really need to wait to see how this shit plays out? No, the fuck I don't. And if you tell me I need to, then you're a fucking moron, period. The WWE, as I've just clearly demonstrated, has given you numerous instances where they have taken potentially great things and completely screwed the pooch on it. And then you'll look and see what they did with Daniel Wyatt this week. Yes, Daniel Wyatt. So you decide to have Daniel Bryan join the Wyatt family, and then their first match as a unit on Raw, a six-man tag, you decide to have the heel team, the heel faction, lose to a mismatched group of baby faces like the Usos and freaking Rey Mysterio. Really? Oh, because Daniel Bryan tagged in, and then Luke Harper tagged in, and that's how they won. And that's great storytelling. You know, when I heard that Vince McMahon, some people were messaging me this shit, and I saw this post on social media talking about Vince McMahon was the brainchild behind this shit. There was a point in time where I would have said, that's good. That means this could be potentially very, very good. But now I'm not so sure. You know, what better way to ensure a burial than to be the one that's constructing the burial your fucking self? And knowing how Vince McMahon's been in recent years when it comes to the storyline and creative aspects of the WWE, is it really a good thing that he's in charge of this shit? You get people begging on Twitter afterwards, is that all you get? And then you get the one little lame-ass backstage vignette, I can teach you. Oh, that won't be necessary. You don't need to team with them because I'm Bray Wyatt, and next week we're going to team together. And Daniel Bryan gives him a menacing look like, yes, I realize I look like Duke the Dumpster Drozy in this shit. But you know what? I'll team with you. Just ridiculous. At least after week one. And no, I'm not giving the WWE any benefit of the fucking doubt. And like I said, I can't believe Daniel Bryan fans are falling for this shit. But Curtis Axel loses to Big E Langston, the Intercontinental Champion. Whoopee! That's not what I want to talk about here. I want to talk about Ryan Reeves, the old Skip Sheffield, the now Ryback. This stupid motherfucker right here. Now, it's one thing that the WWE turned him heel in 2013. I'll grant you that. That's fucking stupid. And you know I was saying way back at the beginning that you cannot turn this guy heel. It's fucking stupid. Because you won't know where to go with it, and eventually you ruin the character. And ta-da! There's another example when talking about not giving the WWE the benefit of the doubt. Look at what happened with fucking Ryback. But what really pissed me off about this asshat this week is a couple of things. Number one, he sat there and made cracks about Lillian Garcia, implying that she's a horse face. Why do we have to keep going there with this shit? Does Triple H think this is funny? Does Vince McMahon think this is funny? We've heard this joke I don't know how many fucking times. Let's come up with some new shtick, some new material here, you asshats. And the last person that needs to be making fun of how anybody looks is that Eeyore-looking motherfucker Ryan Reeves. Nobody cares about me. And then he's sitting there talking about how Biggie Langston isn't over. Well, listen here, Ryback. Aren't you the same motherfucker that during all of his matches was still having more than half the crowd chant Goldberg? And you're going to comment about somebody else and whether or not they're over? Get the fuck out of here. And then he's talking about the fact when they said, one of the commentators said to him that Curtis Axel's a former IC champion and you've never held a singles title, Ryback. And he says, oh, you know, I've only been in here like 21 months. Get back with me in a couple of years. In a couple fucking years? In a couple fucking years? So by 2016, We're supposed to assume that you'll finally climb that summit and reach the pinnacle and become United States or Intercontinental Champion. Get this asshat off of fucking TV, and then to top that all off, maybe instead of focusing on how Lillian Garcia's face may or may not resemble an equine, a horse, whatever. Maybe instead of worrying about if Biggie Langston's more over than you or not, instead of talking about the fact that you need a few more years to even win a meaningless mid-card title in the WWE, how about you learn how to work in the ring in a non-reckless fashion so that way you don't keep injuring people like Dolph Ziggler, who you gave a fucking concussion to? This stupid motherfucker. If this company buries him and eventually Futures endeavors him, I won't have any sympathy for him at all. I'll say good fucking riddance. What a waste of space. One highlight of the show for me was Piper's Pit. And Piper's guests, of course, were the Shield. And there are just so many things about this segment that were really freaking good. Now, of course, the internet, and understandably so, because I was with you on this one, were marking out at the possibility of seeing Roddy Piper and Dean Ambrose with microphones in their hands at the same fucking time. Which to me would exemplify, don't let Seth Rollins speak for one damn second. No offense, Seth, but nobody wants to hear you fucking talk in this segment. I don't know why they let that asshat from Iowa open his damn mouth here. Shove a corn cob in his fucking mouth hole and tell him to shut it and sit back and learn. Really good segment. I love the way how Roddy Piper always has that ability to make things really personal, the way he can really inject real human emotion into something. I like the little touch too where he grabbed Roman Reigns' cheek. Fucking awesome. But the truly awesome part is, after all of this, when the Shield corners Roddy Piper, out come the New Age Outlaws. That's Road Dogg, Jesse James, and the Badass, or as they call him now, B.A. Billy Gunn and CM Punk out to make the save. This was really good television. This is the type of shit that you expect to see on a freaking old school Raw. Hell fucking yeah, this was some good stuff. So now let me get this straight. Real Americans versus the Rhodes Brothers. Cesaro's about to engage in the freaking Cesaro swing, and you cut to commercial and tell people that they could see it and check it out on the WWE app. Well, you know what? Here's what I got to say about that. You can check out my thoughts on this match on the OTRS Central app. Oh, what's that? And we don't have an app? You know what that means. I guess I'm not talking about this fucking match then. I guess when the WWE says old school, they're not just talking about kicking the tires on some old legends and bringing them back. They're talking about bringing back some old feuds, whether it's John Cena versus Randy Orton that nobody really cares about and wants to see, or that's Big Show versus fucking Brock Lesnar. Oh, Paul Heyman's involved. Oh my God, remember how stupid that was back in Survivor Series 2002 when you had Heyman turn on Brock Lesnar to join in the line with the Big Show? Fuck! So let me get this straight. You take the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, and you've got Brock Lesnar. I don't know about you motherfuckers, but it would seem like to me there's some interest there. There's some money potentially to be made there. Now, just because Smokey is no longer with us doesn't mean that the WWE should be let off the hook for this shit. Mark Henry deserves to be featured. Mark Henry in no way, shape, or form deserves to be served up as fucking fodder to fill in, to serve up Lesnar versus fucking Big Show. This is ridiculous. I don't know about any of you. I'd much rather see Brock Lesnar versus Mark Henry at the Royal Rumble. You damn right. Or as somebody else used to say, you damn right. Because let me understand this. 2 weeks ago, Big Show was on fucking TV in a fucking diaper. In a diaper and a sash. And now he's coming off in his rip-off Bully Ray look, and he's a big badass that Brock Lesnar's scared of. Ah, Jesus Christ. Now you would think in this little place that we will choose to call reality, that if your fiance decided out of the blue to join a cult that had tormented your fiance and beaten your fiance down repeatedly, you would think you would be up in arms about that. You would think you would be incredibly upset about that. You would think maybe that you would try and seek out your fiance and find out what the fuck is going on and try and talk some damn sense into him, and maybe even go after the people that are in the leadership positions of the cult and try to get him taken down, maybe get some help to get him taken down. Of course, all of these things would happen in the world, in the land that we call Realityville. But not in WWE land. We keep it as unfucking realistic and as not based in reality as possible. Again, emphasizing the very poor storytelling that, surprise, surprise, the WWE is going to give you with this big hulk of shit. And that's the bottom line. Instead of having freaking Brie Bella be all up in arms and concerned about this and having her go trying to find Daniel Bryan backstage throughout the show, maybe doing something where she's actually trying to talk some sense into him and he turns his back on her or something like that, she just goes out there and wrestles a random tag match against Alicia Fox and Oksana, and Oksana wins again. For some damn reason, they're pushing this heifer now. I guess the Divas title, or Divas title shots, are kind of like Kelly backstage in the WWE locker room. At some point, everybody's going to get a turn. Perhaps my favorite match of the night, my pure favorite match of the night, in terms of that nostalgic kind of old school, this is awesome feeling, has to be Too Cool versus 3MB. This shit was awesome. To see all three members of that Too Cool group from back in the day, Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexay, just look at them. They look like this conglomeration of what the fuck's going on here. They don't look like they belong together. And that's what the genius of it was. And that's how perfect it used to be. And it just harkens back to one of those eras where everybody had a shtick. Everybody had a gimmick. Everybody had a character. Everybody was entertaining in their own unique way. And Too Cool and Rikishi definitely were fucking entertaining back in the day. You could hear it in the crowd when Scotty 2 Hotty set up to do the worm. The people love the fucking worm. The only disappointment with this match was that Rikishi didn't do the damn stink face like I thought he was going to do. But hey, that was a different time, a different place. At least it's not Pat Patterson's shit stink face.
Oh my god, Roman Reigns, he beat the CM Punk. Oh, he's such a hunk. What a Samoan stud. I just look at him and his complexion. Oh, makes me want to moan and groan like a bad little puppy. Oh, yeah, I'll be his bitch. He's got that long, flowing black hair, and those big muscles, and those tattoos. Oh, my God, and those eyes. Oh, makes I want a puppy to go into heat. Oh, shit. Roman Reigns, what a hunk. 2014, everyone. Roman will reign supreme in the WWE. Yeah, bitches.
You just can't contain yourself, can you? You love you some Roman Reigns. Oh, yes. Get used to seeing a lot more of her talking about her big Samoan stud muffin in 2014. She loves that man. She truly does. And I know she's not the only lady. Mommy has a crush on him too, doesn't she? Yeah. But she knows who brings home the bacon, doesn't she? Exactly. But I will talk about two other things that were really cool about this Raw show. And what really puts it over the top to me. Number one, ADR beats Sin Cara for whatever the fuck reason. Oh, yuck. And then sits there and tries to make a big deal out of it that he's entering the Royal Rumble. He calls out Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista says on Twitter, "Who the hell is Alberto Del Rio?" The answer is, who cares? The other answer is, nobody for you to concern yourself with. The other answer is, a guy they've tried to push for years that could never measure up to your star power, Dave Bautista. But perhaps my big highlight of the week, my big highlight of the week, my big highlight of the night has to be the return of Jake the Snake Roberts. It's the first time we've seen him on WWE television in years. I believe the highlight reel with Chris Jericho and Randy Orton back in like 2005, 2006, somewhere in there, was the last time I remember seeing Jake the Snake Roberts on WWE television. How fucking awesome was it? And normally I'd poon on somebody for smiling when something serious was supposed to go on, but who the fuck could blame Dean Ambrose for sitting there and smiling when Jake the Snake put the snake on him? I hope this leads to Jake getting in the Royal Rumble at the end of the month, and I certainly hope this means that Jake the Snake is going to take his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame at WrestleMania 30. What do you think? Oh, I know. You only care about Roman Reigns. Yes. You like Mark Henry too, though, from what I understand. But that might have been the influence of somebody else. But like I said, there were things that definitely pissed me off about this show, things that I really didn't like, but some cool moments and some really nice things. So it was kind of what I would have expected out of an old school Raw. Say bye-bye.
Now let me tell you something, brother. I realize everybody's all excited and giggly tits about Jake the Snake Roberts making an appearance at the end of Raw this week, dude. But let me tell you something. The bottom line is, the only thing that really matters is, dude, is that the Hulkster is coming back to the WWE, brother. And what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan and all those screaming Hulkamaniacs, those Cajun maniacs down at the Superdome in New Orleans at WrestleMania 30, what you gonna do when they all go wild on you?